What you got there, sir? Got some Luffa? Let me show everybody something that I messed up on and what not to do. I hope that this helps someone else so that you don't have to learn the same lesson I did. Things do get away from you. It happens, but we want to make the most of what we grow. Hoppers. This is Simber. You're watching Homesteading at Kooker. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is another what not to do. Life got busy and we had several loofahs that dried and I just left them on the trellis, which in and of itself isn't bad. However, we had some rain and I still left them out there. Well, the problem with that is you get mold. And sometimes you can see it on the outside, but it's not so much the rind, the outside that we're worried about, it's the sponge inside. And so if you can see, the sponge has gotten moldy on the inside. And I don't think there's really a good way to clean that up, especially something like black mold. You really don't want to mess with that. But even these the higher parts of the sponge, these fibers, are kind of moldy too. Let me see if the camera can focus. So your fibers should be clean, and if you look, this has the moldy kind of webbing and netting in between and down deeper. So that, I'm going to say, is one I do not want to keep. Now, it's not a complete waste because I can still put it in the garden or the flower beds, especially if I bury it a little bit under the ground, and then it can act as a water absorber and provide water and additional water retention for whatever plants I plant in that area the next year. But it is a sad misfortune because this could have been a gift for someone, or a sponge that we could use here on the homestead. You all right, mister? He loves buckets. All right, so I'm tossing that one to the side for the moment. Give me the seed. Thank you. We'll see if those seeds grow next year. Woohoo! That'll be interesting. Luffa trellising up the thornless cactus. All right. Another don't is we allowed one sponge to grow through our chain link fence. For future efforts, I know that I will cut it out while it's still green and while it's still small, because number one, it did misshape that particular chain or particular link on the chain link fence, but also I had to cut through and massacre the sponge in order to get the gourd off. Malachi, put those seeds back, please. Thank you, sweetie boy. So this sponge is now in two parts because of that error. There's another sponge. Oh, you all right, mister? You just got a muddy bottom. Soggy bottom boy. Oh, here it is. Malachi just scooched it for suspense sake, I guess. This one was also left on the vine, and the chickens or something did open the rind on it. So that may have actually helped because it allowed airflow through the fibers of the sponge, so it didn't get wet and then have no escape route for the water once it got fully soaked. However, there is still some mold. If you can see right here inside on the inner part of the rind, there is some mold. So this one I may actually keep for myself. Again, I do see a few mold spores, but as long as it's not too bad, I might keep it for like scrubbing outdoor for outdoor scrubbing projects or something like that. Maybe not in the shower, and maybe not using it on our dishes, and definitely not as a gift, but it can still be used outside for cleaning purposes on the homestead. Now this one looks okay. I'm hopeful that this one will be decent enough for personal use or as a gift, but still, that's 1 out of 4, so not the best odds. So don't do what I did. Make sure that you at least harvest it when it's fully dry, even if you can't get to it right then, to take the rind off. Bring it inside out of the elements so that you don't have the issue of rain falling, getting it wet, and then the fibers inside molding, and then either you not being able to have use of it after spending a season growing it, or not being able to use it for the purpose that you really wanted. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this loofah sponge in the dirt. I'm using my Homestead iron tool that we got while at the 2017 Heirloom Expo. And I'm pulling back the wood chips and then digging into the dirt. And I'm going to put that loofah sponge that was just too far gone, and I'm just going to dig a hole and bury it. When I plant a plant here next year, there will be the loofah sponge broken down, at least part way, to absorb the water and hold the water there so that the water is easily accessible to whatever plant I plant there. And so the goal is to provide plenty of water for whichever herb I put there next year, even whenever it's more drought-like conditions. I do realize that because I didn't get all the seeds out of that spot, that it is possible that there may be some loofah sponges growing up there. If that happens, I can either pull the loofah plants, or I can just say, hey, cool, more loofahs for me. By the way, that dirt was really rich and awesome. This is some of that cedar wood chips that we got from the free wood chip find at our local recycling center. This is a grub, June bug grub. Or it could be another beetle grub that we also have here. But, I mean, I know we have June bug grubs as well. Anyway, lovely protein treat for the chickens. They love these. Our pineapple sage is blooming. Took until November for it to happen, but we kept it alive enough that it's enjoying the fall weather, and now it's blooming. Yay! Another use for the Homestead iron tool is to pick up your cactus pads that the dogs knocked off. They like to tear through here and just rip pads all over the place. And we really don't want the cactus growing out here in the walkway. So I'm going to be picking up some of these pads, but we really enjoy this. It is a thornless variety, but this tool helps me not get the tiny little, I have to look up what they're called, but it's a little filamentous type thorn, kind of like hairs on okra, and so it's more of an irritation than anything, but it can sting a bit, but it's not like it's the long thorns on the prickly cactuses. And Mister is deciding to play in the rain buckets. Silly boy.
Hey Cloud Hoppers, thanks for watching the video. Push the thumbs up to like the video. Also hit that subscribe button, also the bell, so that you can get notifications when our videos come out.
Check us out on our social media pages too. We have Facebook and Pinterest, and soon we'll have Instagram. The links are below. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Good job.